All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lauren Reeves. I'm with the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, Georgia, and I'll be doing your weekly weather briefing for this week, Thursday, January 16th, 2020. So what we're going to go through today, real briefly, we'll just take a look at some of our hydro products. We have several rivers in flood from all the rainfall that we have been getting over the previous days. And just want to make a note, we are still continuing damage surveys today. We have one team out slated to look at Pike County and Upson County. We haven't heard anything back yet, so no additional information there. But once we do have any information, we'll make sure to send that out via NWS chat and other official sources. Otherwise, we'll take a look at the cold front that previously went through the area earlier today. There were some showers in central Georgia, and those will be dissipating. And then we'll start to get some cooler air filtering in today and tonight. After that, our next system is looking to be next weekend, and that system will bring widespread showers to the area. I will mention this now. I'm not sure if there's been any word on this yet so far, but there is some potential for wintry weather across far north Georgia with this system for Saturday. But we don't have anything in our forecast as of the current forecast. What we're looking at now, we're not really seeing it, but that potential is there, and so that's just something we're looking at. Otherwise, after we get through this next system coming up for the weekend, we'll see drier and cooler weather for the first half of next week, which should be a welcome change for those who do like actual winter. So as I mentioned, the rivers, we do have some rivers in flood. If you can look at the map on the left-hand side, those green dots are going to be our river gauges that are below flood. Yellow is going to be at action stage, and orange is going to be at minor flood. So across north and central Georgia, if you look at the right-hand map, we do have several gauges that are currently in minor flood and several others that are at action stage. Basically, this is from the previous rainfall we've gotten across the area, so that's something we're continuing to keep an eye on. If we take a look at current conditions, the left-hand radar loop here is from around 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And so that radar loop is showing the showers across central Georgia that have pretty much been dissipating over the past few hours. On the right-hand side, just wanted to show where that front was located as of noon. As that front continues to work its way out of the area, we'll have drier and cooler air filtering into the area. So just taking a look at the system for next weekend, I just chose to show one random model here. So there's one that we're looking at. There's plenty of other options out there to look at. But I just wanted to show this to show that we do have increasing chances for rainfall on Saturday, most likely the afternoon through Sunday. But there are still some differences in timing. So I'll let this loop play a few more times. But as you can see, we start with early Saturday and progress through Sunday during the day. And we will have a front that passes through the area. And what you're looking at here is forecast precipitation, just so you can kind of see where we're looking at the front to pass through. Pretty much the whole area from the northwest to the southeast, and then clearing the area on Sunday. Now taking a look at rainfall totals. Overall, not expecting too much from this system, and right as of the current forecast, we're just expecting showers. Our forecast rainfall is about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch. And that's generally widespread, 1/4 to 1/2 inch. So some areas may see some locally higher amounts with any other stronger showers that may come through. Now, if we take a look at the 7-day forecast, as I mentioned, we have this front coming through today, and then we'll have another front coming through over the weekend. So pretty much we're going to have a few breezy days through the next 7 days in addition to cooler temperatures than we had been seeing. So if we took a look at today, pretty much our highs in the 60s and 70s as they have been over the previous days. But once we get into tonight and tomorrow, we'll start to have our temperatures come down just a tiny bit, and that'll lead us into temperatures in the 40s and 50s pretty much for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In the 40s and 50s in some areas in central Georgia getting up into the 60s. And then as I mentioned with that system, we will have those chances of rain for Saturday and for portions of central Georgia, maybe bleeding into Sunday as well. But then once we get past that and we get that next front to come through, you will see temperatures actually drop much lower than what we have been seeing. So once we get into like the weekend, that's pretty much closer to seasonal norms. Generally, our highs are in like the 50s with lows in the 30s. But after we get that next front to come through after the weekend, we'll see our lows drop into the 40s and 30s for some areas like Blairsville and across northern Georgia into the 30s. But across the rest of the area into the upper 40s and lower 40s and some spots into the 50s. And then our lows will be dropping down into the 20s and 30s by the time that next front comes through. So for everyone who may be tired of the warm weather that we're having, there is changes are on the way. Might just have to wait at least till tonight to start to get some cooler temperatures, and then definitely into early next week to start to see some temperatures that are just below average. So just wanted to make a quick note on our fire weather forecast. I included today and tomorrow. So here we're looking at today's forecast minimum relative humidities on the left-hand side, and we will have some spots into the 30 and 40% range. And on the right-hand side, today is going to be a little bit gusty. There's definitely already some gusts out there right now, but generally in the 15 to 25 mile per hour range with some higher gusts across the northern areas. Then once we get into Friday, as I mentioned, that drier air filtering in on the left-hand side, our minimum relative humidity values for Friday, and those are dipping down into the upper 20s to the lower 30s, in addition to having some wind gusts continuing in the 15 to 20 mile per hour range. Now we'll step into the drought. Overall, there's really not any change from last week's drought monitor, and as far as north and central Georgia is concerned, we don't have any drought concerns across the local forecast area. And some good news for those who want a return of winter. Our 6 to 10 day outlook shows potentially slightly drier conditions over the next 6 to 10 days, in addition to some cooler temperatures, and so we're already going to start to see that as we get into early next week. So just a quick summary, we took a look at some of the rivers that we have in flood, and I mentioned we will have our damage surveys today, and so we'll have some result from that probably later on this evening. Otherwise, we did have a cold front that came through today, and those showers in central Georgia should be dissipating if they haven't already by this point. And we'll have that cool air filtering today and tonight, which will give us some lows tonight lower than what we had been seeing previously. And then once we get to this weekend, we'll have another cold front that brings a good bit of showers to the area. And then after we get through this weekend and that next front makes it through, we'll definitely have a bit cooler weather and drier weather for the first half of next week. So that's all that I have for today.